And now the lineups for the two teams. Number 40, starting for Genoa-Kingston at left end, Dan Wyo. Number 72, left tackle, Dave Eos. At left guard, number 66, Jeff Hinkle. At center, number 50, Mike Quinn. At right guard, number 68, Wendell Lawrence. At right tackle, number 76, Mike Beach. At right end, number 82, Mike Hayward. The quarterback for Genoa-Kingston, number 10, Jim Potts. At halfback, number 28, Phil Rentz. The halfback flanker, number 20, Andy Durmeyer. And at fullback, number 44, Tom Price. And now, the coach of Genoa-Kingston, the very popular coach for Genoa-Kingston, a very delightful gentleman on the field, David Russell. Okay, now the starting lineup for the Purple Riders. On defense, number 64, left end, Steve Clark. At left tackle, number 76, Chuck Rich. At right tackle, number 74, Ken Landreth. At right end, number 80, Mark Thomas. At linebacker, number 66, Randy Wright. At linebacker, number 51, Steve Veach. At linebacker, number 63, Mike Conlon. Defensive back, number 21, Jim Tabb. Defensive back, number 81, Scott Gare. At defensive back, number 30, Marty Thomas. And at safety, John Fischel. And the coach of the Purple Riders, Steve Thomas. There you have the starting lineups, and here with the action for today's game to bring you the play-by-play is Vince Lloyd.
All right, thank you very much, Floyd. And the officials for our first game of the 5 championship playoffs: Wayne Bigham from Du Quoin, Gail Borton from West Frankfort, Norman Linneman from Decatur, Donald Schaefer from Charleston. We'll remind you it's Arcola, coached by Steve Thomas in the purple, or if you're not watching in color, we hope you are. But if you are not, they are in the dark jerseys. Number 10, Doug Ontario, 125-pounder, a sophomore, only 5'8". His dad was in Chicago before they moved down to Arcola. He is a soccer-style player, and his dad was keenly interested in soccer and got young Doug here to start kicking soccer style. And the wind, which is very, very strong here this afternoon and pretty much blowing from the north side right behind Ontario to downfield to the south, which means, of course, that Genoa-Kingston in this first quarter is going to be working against that wind. Their deep man is Rick Potts, number 26, and he is standing up at about his own 8-yard line, and here comes the kickoff. A low line drive, and it's bouncing by that first man up there. That was Wild, and it is picked up here by Potts. Potts up to the 25 of the 30, and just across the 30-yard line, he is brought down on a good tackle by Randy Wright, number 66, and by Dave Cook, number 71. Let's take a look at it again. That's a tough one to handle.
It is, Vince, and as you said, this wind is 20 to 30 miles coming from the northwest, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Genoa-Kingston team can move the ball in this first quarter against the wind. 20 to 30 miles, that's blizzard conditions.
Yeah. Now the sun has started to come out, and here comes Genoa-Kingston for the first offensive play of our championship series. They're in that pro set with a wing back on the right side and a split receiver on the left side. Running play goes to big 44, Tom Price, a 205-pound junior, hit by the left middle linebacker, Steve Veach, number 51, and Mike Conlon, number 63. Up to the 35-yard line, it is second down and 5. Left end, it is Dan Wild, 156-pound senior. Left tackle, Dave Ewis, number 72, and Jeff Hingle, 213 pounds, is the left guard. He ought to be able to move people out of there. The center is Mike Quinn, number 50. And we'll run him down later. Here is a handoff going to Phil Reince, the tailback, and Reince up to about the 40-yard line. Brought down there by the defensive left end, Steve Clark, 64.
Well, this is the young man that will be carrying the ball an awful lot today, Vince. Reince, 28. You can see 44, Price out there on the block. Not a very complicated play, but I would think one that could prove very effective for this team today.
And they're very, very near to a first down, third down, and I'd say they have about a foot to go. And both ends are in tight as they come up to that line of scrimmage. With the wingback on the left side, that's Andy Diermeyer. And the give again goes to Price, the big fullback. And he's got an opening through the right side between guard and tackle to pick up the 1st and 10 for Genoa-Kingston. Steve Clark, 64, the defensive end. Ken Landreth, 74, defensive tackle in on the stop. 1st and 10. You're taking a look at that defense in purple. Steve Clark, 64, one of the ends. Chuck Rich, 185. Tackle. Ken Landreth, 185, also a tackle, and Mark Thomas, number 80, the other end, he's 170. Wing back to the right side for Genoa. And Potts, the quarterback, handing off this time to Wright, that tailback, and this time a very stiff defense. Nails in for a loss. Ken Landreth bursting through, getting good penetration with the outside linebacker, Andy Wright, a 135-pounder, a junior.
They've taken everything to the right side. It's kind of interesting. That time they were stopped. Let's see now if they want to try out the left side.
They are what Coach David Russell says, a right-handed team. And so many high schools will be right-handed. They lost to it, second down and 12. No score, 9:50 left to play in the opening period of our first championship game. And again, they come out in that pro set in the backfield with Price and Reince, the running backs, number 44, number 28. And giving it this time to the tight end. And there's a little flea flicker pass behind the line of scrimmage intended for the quarterback, Jimmy Potts. And a loose football down there. Who's going to wind up with it? Recovered by Arcola.
They passed that backward, Vince, so I think that goes as a lateral.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
Let's take another look at it now. A little razzle-dazzle that backfire.
Well, you can see Mike Hayward, number 82, taking the ball and then passing across field, but he passed it backward. And when that ball came back over Reince's head, I think Reince didn't really expect it. It was supposed to be to number 10, Jim Potts, the quarterback, and it became a lateral when it went backward, Vince, and it was a free ball.
And that's the first break of this football game. Don't get excited, Vince. It's on the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 now with Johnny Fischel, number 12, the quarterback, and they go from a high formation, and the give goes in here to Tab, and he is nailed right at the line of scrimmage. I'm sorry, Jeff Fischel, the junior. Nailed by number 76, Mike Beach, a 216-pound senior. You'll see Genoa-Kingston using a lot of different personnel, while Arcola has 9 men on offense who go both ways. They split the end way out here to the short side of the field on second down and 12. And the give goes to the deep man of the eye. It is Jeff Fischel again. And he drives forward to the 30-yard line. That was 130-pound junior. Nailed by Tom Price, number 44, and Bruce Zekoff, a 240-pound senior up there tackle.
That was good head-on blocking for them. They opened up a hole for him that time, so it seems that perhaps a smaller line will be able to create some area for the runners here for this Arcola ball club.
He picked up 4 at second down and 8 inside the 30-yard line. And Arcola with the football and a handoff again to Jeff Fischel. He's very, very quick. Tried to read it to the outside. Got almost to the 25-yard line before he was driven back by the safety man, Brad Anderson, number 12. Here it is.
Well, here's a look at Jeff again, Vince. He carried the ball so much this season for Arcola. He gained 1,400 yards, so you know you're going to see a lot of him today. 31, Jeff Fischel.
Broke a good tackle up there at the line. 4th down and 3, a gain of 5 on that one, and they send the flanker Jeff Moore to the far side. That's number 20 at the top of your screen. And they split number 81, Scott Gary, to the bottom of your screen. High formation again. He fakes the give, rolls out to the right. He is looking for Gary, and he is underthrown, intercepted by Quarterback Dan Wild, number 40. And Genoa-Kingston gets that ball back on the interception. All right, Genoa-Kingston lining up here for their second series of down in the first quarter. The score 0-0. And our coverage of the State High School Football Championships will continue right after this.
Well, Vince, this is a look at that interception. It was a play-action pass, and he rolled out. He simply underthrew the ball. Simply underthrew it, and Wild cut across to make the interception. Very alert play on defense. So Genoa-Kingston takes possession for the second time in this game at its own 17-yard line. So let's see if they can move the ball up the field.
They got a long way to go, and the wing back to the right side, or the left end, Dan Wild, who made that interception. Split out, and there is encroachment, as jumping off was the right guard, number 68, Wendell Lawrence. And that will be a 5-yard walk-off, the first penalty of the afternoon against Genoa-Kingston. It's going to be first down and 15.
Hey, they don't look too comfortable, Vince.
That'll be a little bit on the nippy side.
Well, the sun has come out at least. The temperature has warmed up from 22 to 24.
Isn't that wonderful?
They are 24. Not looking for a pass, boy. They've got everybody in that secondary up very, very close to that line of scrimmage.
Well, they're against the wind, as we said earlier, so they're going to have to be careful.
Split the backfield. Two running backs back there. They are Price and Rights, and they send Jeremiah in motion to the right side, and another flag.
I think it's a delay. I think it could be a delay of game.
Took too long.
Maybe not.
Yes, another 5-yard walk-off. You're right. It is now going to be first down and 20 yards to go. And they are now in very dangerous territory. There's always a possibility when you're that close to your own goal line of a mistake in that backfield resulting in a possible safety.
Well, he gave another encroachment signal, so apparently someone had lined up illegally.
They send Wild split to the left side. He's number 40. Everybody else in tight with a wing back over the right side. That's Jeremiah. And he gives to Bill Wright's number 28, and he is met well almost at that direct line of scrimmage by number 63, middle linebacker Mike Conlon, 175-pound senior. First and 20. No gain. They're back at their own 8-yard line with no score. The spirited couple of pretty cheerleaders.
And their punter is not really the best punter that we'll see out here, and he's going to be kicking into the wind, so it's imperative to get out of there.
Boy. Tom Kubasiak, number 38, may be called on. Here's the gift to Tom Price, a 205-pound junior, and he cannot turn the corner. Steve Clark, number 64, and the outside linebacker, a junior, Randy Wright, number 66, a 135-pounder, in on the stop.
Well, you can see the defensive penetration here. Very tough line play on Arcola's part. There was just no place for him to go.
So it is third down.
Those defensive linemen can smell it. They've got him pinned against the wall, Vince.
And that ball back at about their own 7-yard line. A mile to go into the strong wind. Again, a split in on the left side. And Jimmy Potts turns and he gets it to Phil Rice. He gets a little bit of the yardage up to about the 12-yard line. And that's as far as he can go. Trying to lead the way there was Dave Ewis, left tackle, number 72, but they could not move. Number 51, Steve Veach, left inside linebacker. Tom Kubasiak, number 38, a senior, 5'10", 160. Their punter comes in. Johnny Fischel and Marty Thomas are the deep men, and they're standing only on the Genoa-Kingston between their 30 and 35-yard line.
He's kicking from the end zone.
Could be problems here. Not a big rush put on, and he gets a low line drive that bounces at around the 26-yard line, takes a lateral bounce, goes out of bounds on the far side of the field, and Arcola is going to have possession of the football in excellent position. We have 5:12 left to play in the first quarter. The score, Arcola nothing, Genoa-Kingston nothing, and our coverage of the State High School Football Championship will continue after this. Boy, they didn't gain too much with that punt, did they?
They certainly didn't, Vance. It was a net 20-yard punt for Genoa-Kingston.
He has 4, number 20 flanked to the left side, and the wide receiver, Scott Garrett, number 81 to the right side. Here's Fischel on a pitch to his brother, Jeff Fischel, trying to turn the corner, and he cannot do it. Great defensive play. Number 81, Don Roach, who's coming there, 153-pound defensive end, a senior.
Well, Vince, if we take a look at this replay, I think you're just going to see excellent pursuit by Roach. Fought off the first blocker and caught him from behind, and he had blockers out ahead of him. That's what you have to do against that sweep.
Second and 10 from the 27. Arcola in possession, and the gift goes to Fischel again. Fischel trying to go right behind, off his guard in center. Runs into the defensive tackle. 240-pound Bruce Seacock, number 71. That's a lot of man in there for a high schooler. 240, stands 5'9". Tough to move, number 71.
Well, Vince, this Arcola team has averaged almost 40 points a game this season, 39.9, so they need to get one here.
It's wide receivers. He drops back. He's looking downfield on the run. He throws one. It is too high. Intended for number 80, the tight end and their number 1 receiver, Mark Thomas. Good coverage by the safety man, Brad Anderson.
Well, let's take a look again. He had him open momentarily, but he just a trifle overthrown. Threw on the run, going to the left. That's a little difficult.
The wind probably helped carry that ball, too.
There's no question about it, because that's just the direction it's coming from, right over his shoulder.
He flanks Jeff Gore, number 20, to the open side of the field. And he has Scott Gare, his split end on the right short side. Drops back, looking again, and he is looking for Thomas, and a battle down at the goal line for that one. And good coverage by Genoa-Kingston's Bill Schott, number 42. Jeff Moore, the intended receiver. So they are unable to take advantage of the interception. And they turn the ball over to Genoa-Kingston, who will have it first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Well, John Fischel is having just a little problem with the pass, because he overthrew on the pass that was intercepted. And then he underthrew, rather, and he underthrew on that one. But he overthrew the boy a while ago, so he hasn't quite got his range yet, Vince.
He has Durmeyer flanked to the right side, and Wild split to the right side. Jimmy Potts, the quarterback, turns, hands off to Phil Reitz, who's been his number 1 ball carrier. He runs into middle linebacker number 51, Steve Veach. Picked up a yard. It's going to be second down and 9. We have no score. 3:48 left to play in the first period. Class 1A championship. Coach David Russell of Genoa-Kingston. They're in white, and they have possession of the football. Steve Thomas, coach of Arcola. And their sideline just directly below us. Same formation. Second and 9. Quarterback Jimmy Potts. And he hands off this time to the end around Hayward. Hayward trying to turn the corner. Trying to work behind the block of number 76, Mike Beach. They run into that linebacker, Randy Wright. And also Chuck Rich, number 76. Second down, 9 yards to go. It's going to be third down now and about 7. They picked up a couple of yards. But this first quarter has been played down here in Genoa-Kingston territory.
That's right, and Vince, the people might be able to notice the shoes these gentlemen are wearing. Now, Genoa-Kingston, for example, has the artificial turf shoes on loan from Northern Illinois University, which is a university very close to Genoa-Kingston. And both teams are wearing the low-cut soccer-style artificial turf shoes.
Here comes the option. It is kept by Jimmy Potts, the 135-pound senior quarterback, nailed at the 30 or 31-yard line by Ken Landreth, number 74.
Well, let's take a look at Mr. Conlon isolated there, number 63 for Arcola. Pursues along the line and makes the helping tackle.
Does a great job. He hits hard. 175-pounder. Looking good. He's a senior. And he goes both ways, as do most of the Arcola men. Here's Tom Kabasiak in as a punter for the second time on 4th and 5. And he's kicking into a very strong wind. Marty Thomas and John Fischel, the deep men for Arcola.
Oh, that's better.
They're going to let it bounce. And that's wise, and it's well covered by the men in the white jerseys from the Little League Conference, Genoa-Kingston. So it is going to be first and 10 for the Purple Riders of Arcola. No score yet.
Yeah, about the 43-yard line. They got a little bit of a Genoa-Kingston bounce, and now we'll have to see if they can move a little farther.
He had a net of 27 on that one, Vince.
That's much better. Right. Jeff Moore, number 20. Wide receivers flank to the right side, and he splits Scott Gare, the end on the left side. They're going from the I formation. And he hands off to the deep man of that I. That's his brother, Jeff Fischel. Good quickness by Fischel, 130 pounds. 5'7", runs into 205-pound Tom Price. Sounds almost like a mismatch, huh? Here it is.
Well, that's a straight-ahead play, Vince, but boy, that's not very big. Look at the block by 21.
Beautiful.
Beautiful block. But they had a cornerback over to help. 5'7".
The block thrown there by Jimmy Tabb. It was a 165-pounder. Here's the pitch going out this time to Jeff Fischel. Tried to turn the corner. Can't do it. Runs out of room. Nailed over there by Mike Hayward, number 82. Mike Beach also putting on pretty good pursuit. And Arcola struggling to try to move that football. And we're in the final minute now of the first period with no score yet.
It's interesting the way they're running the ball. They run it right past that big 240-pound tackle for Genoa-Kingston. They give them a little gap to that side, and that's been the only success they've had so far.
They're down and 7. 3rd and 7. The up man is Tabb, and the deep man is Fischel. It is kept by Johnny Fischel. Turns the corner on a good slant to the outside, and he struggles forward, and I think he has the 1st and 10. Dan Wild, number 40, finally made the stop on Johnny Fischel. 5'11" quarterback, 160-pound senior. There he is, Johnny Fischel. Looks like a happy young man, doesn't he?
He showed some pretty good play action on that. He made the fake and then cut inside very quickly before the defense could react.
They try to get to the outside. A 1st and 10. And the ball at the 36-yard line of Arcola. 30 seconds left to play in the first period, and looked like he was hand off to Jeff Fischel. There was a mix-up in the backfield that time, and the fumble is recovered by Genoa-Kingston. Bruce Kickoff, number 71, making the recovery.
Well, it looks to me as if it's a little bit high on the... Nope, he never really got control of it, and he was hit hard by number 33, Thornton. He's the one that caused the fumble. Did he also get the recovery?
No, the recovery was made by Zikoff, number 71.
Thornton was the man. He was in there almost as fast as the handoff was. So Genoa-Kingston takes over, Vince, at their own 49. Excellent field position against the wind with only 7 seconds remaining.
And a play coming to the left side is given to Phil Wrights. And Wrights trying to stiff arm that tackler. Nurses there, gets it for about a 2-yard gain before being brought down by Marty Thomas, number 30. And there's the end of the first period. With the score, Genoa-Kingston nothing, Arcola nothing. Our coverage of the State High School Football Championship will continue right after this. All right, Arcola now moving into the wind, and Genoa-Kingston from the Little League Conference. Dave Russell, by the way, an outstanding record there. 52 wins, 8 losses, and 1 tie in his career. They're in the white. With the orange helmets and the orange pants, they come up to the line of scrimmage, ball at the 48-yard line of Arcola. Wide receiver to the left side and a wing back to the right side. He's going to put it right over the middle, and it is intended for Hayward, number 82. Batted down by Mike Conlon, the middle linebacker.
Well, he's an active linebacker, Vince. This young man is only in 1 quarter already has shown us a lot because he's very active, sees the play developing, and jumps up to knock it away. Mike Conlon, number 63.
175-pound senior. Pass intended for 82, Mike Hayward.
Not a bad play call either. The man was reasonably open over the middle.
That's right. Good quick pop right over the middle.
Well, it's 3rd down and 8. Let's see if they go to the air again. This team doesn't pass that much.
From the two-set backfield, he drops back, and he's going to be... Nope. Yep, he's going to be nailed. He tries to get rid of it at the last moment.
He did.
As the pressure was put on by Mark Thomas, number 80, and he finally dumped it off on an apparent pass towards Mike Hayward.
Well, it went forward. That counts as a pass.
That's right.
It has to count. Let's take a look at it again. He's really in the grips here. He's definitely caught. Mark Thomas has him. And look at this. Throws it forward. Hayward makes a legal catch, bobbles it a little bit, and goes forward for 4 or 5 yards. Not enough for the first down. They'll have to punt, Vince.
All right.
They had a chance.
Here's Tom Kovacic. Considered a rather weak punter, but he's done a pretty good job against the wind. Let's see how he can do with it.
Get it up in the air.
Off from about his own 45-yard line. Line drive kick. It is taken by Marty Thomas, number 30, and good punt coverage that time. Dan Wild, number 40, into that great tackle. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Arcola. The ball at their own 22-yard line. There is no score yet. And our coverage of the State High School Football Championship will continue after this.
These are the uniforms of the day for the cheerleaders for Arcola down on the field. They're still bouncing around a little bit.
Well, we had such a nice day yesterday, too.
Oh, golly, I said yesterday, 1 year we'd get a good day, but not yet.
Arcola with the football on 1st and 10 from their own 22. And the handoff goes to Jeff Fischel, number 31, a junior 130-pounder, brought down by Kickoff, number 71, who only weighs 240. Fischel giving away 110 pounds. And he got a couple of yards on it, brings it out to the 20-yard line. They have Jeff Moore, the junior, flank wide to the left side. And they split Scott Gare to the right side. Got back and he hands off again to his brother Jeff Fischel. Tries to read it just over his own guard and tackle. And again, Mr. Kickoff is there to say, how do you do?
That must be his little brother.
It is.
That's right. John's the senior, Jeff's the junior. John calls the play.
Yep.
John weighs 160. Jeff weighs 130.
It's okay, Jeff. You carry it again. That's
your
not
fault,
fair.
brother. Well, he got it out to the 26-yard line. It's third down and 7 yards to go. And again, Gary, split to the top of your screen, and Jeff Moore to the bottom part of your screen. He's dropping back on the draw, and he gives it to brother Jeff, who is nailed back at the 21-yard line. And again, it is Mr. Kickoff, number 71. There he goes, trotting off the field.
That's a tough Genoa-Kingston defense.
Nose guard Andy Niemeyer also left with him, number 20.
This team has thrown 6 shutouts this season, Vince.
Yep.
This will be Arcola's first punt, and they have the wind in their face.
That's right.
And their punter is a guard, Steve Clark, 170-pound senior. He gets it away from his own 15-yard line into that wind, and it takes a bounce in favor of Arcola.
Just like hitting a brick wall up there.
He got it back to the line of scrimmage.
All right, we have a timeout down on the field with a score. Arcola nothing and Genoa-Kingston nothing. Our coverage of the State High School Football Championships will continue right after this.
We are just about to get underway again. Rick, I understand you have a summary here of the activity so far.
Only in statistics, Phil Reintz, who's become the workhorse already for Arcola, Genoa-Kingston. He's carried 5 times. He's got 14 yards. I think you'll see him. He and Tom Price will carry it on this thrust. Boy, this has to be their best field position today.
It is.
In motion is Niemeyer, the wingback, and the give goes to the big fullback, the junior Tom Price, number 44, slanting off his own left tackle. And pretty good gain that time as he moves the ball down to about the 27-yard line. We'll see where they mark it. The stop made by number 80, Mark Thomas, the defensive end, and number 51, Steve Beach.
Well, that's a good, healthy 4 yards.
Yeah.
Good, healthy 4 yards, Vince. If you can get that kind of yardage on first and second down, why, you can do a lot. Now, this has got to be the biggest drive of the game for this team.
They have it at the 28-yard line of Arcola. There's no score. We have 8:47 left to play in the first half. And again, it is Price, and there's a big hole to the right side, and number 44, a junior, barrels all the way down to the 15-yard line. It is first and 10 for Genoa-Kingston. Marty Thomas, number 30, and Scott Gary making the stop.
Well, there's Mr. Price, takes the handoff, tucks it in. Very nice hole in the middle of that line. Breaks off one tackle. Takes 2 men to bring him down at the 15-yard line.
Gain of 12 on the play.
That's right.
Good blocking by Wendell Lawrence, Mike Quinn, that forward wall, and a flag goes down. Now, in high school football, we want to remind you that when those linemen get down there, either offense or defense, and somebody makes a move, and this is primarily intended to stop that defense from intimidating the offense. If that man makes a move, whether he gets back before the ball is snapped or not doesn't make any difference.
Doesn't have to make contact, does he?
No.
Vince? No.
And this time it goes against the offense, Genoa-Kingston. Encroachment, 5-yard penalty.
Now, this
They ran into a couple of these earlier.
This makes it a little tougher, Vince. First and 15.
Andy Niemeyer, number 40. Looking at his wing back here. Wears glasses, by the way.
Straight
And
ahead.
a keeper this time by Jimmy Potts, the quarterback. Gets it inside the 20-yard line. Brought down by the 2 defensive tackles. Number 76, Chuck Rich, 185. Number 74, Ken Landreth, 185-pounder also. Both are seniors.
Vince, we were talking about field position. Genoa-Kingston's first series started on their 30, the next one on the 16. This is their own 16. Then they got the ball back on the 17-yard line on an interception, then the 25, then the 49 of their own. This is their best field position today.
Let's see if they can take advantage of it. Niemeyer wing back to the right side, and Big Tom Price met at the line of scrimmage by Steve Clark, number 64, and brings him down.
Very nice work by Clark in there. He tackled him right around the ankles, brought him down. I think we have a timeout. Genoa-Kingston.
Genoa-Kingston calling timeout. They're 12-0 this year. They won the Little A Conference. And we have a timeout on the field with 7:29 left in the first half. No score yet. Our coverage of the state high school football.
Well, it's 3rd and 13 for Genoa-Kingston, and the ball's on their own 18-yard line. Time is in down on the field. During the first quarter, we might point out that Arcola had the best position. They got the ball on the 27 of Genoa-Kingston in their first series, but Genoa-Kingston held each time. Then they got it on the 43 of Genoa-Kingston, but again, they held. Now Genoa-Kingston putting the ball in play. Vince?
Mike Hayward is the tight end on the right side. They're trying to run that ball. And it is Jimmy Potts, the quarterback, and the keeper that time. He is brought down at the 19-yard line.
Well, on a quick count, Vince, but didn't get anywhere.
4th down at about 3 or 4 yards to go. They do have the wind behind them.
About 14 yards to go, Vince. Yeah, they're gonna.
I'm sorry, 14. Yeah.
Well, I wonder if they have a field goal kicker. I don't think that has even entered their mind.
Pat Price or Tom Price, number 44, might be the guy to try it if they're going to, but they're not. Here's the pitch this time to Phil Wright's the tailback, trying to turn the corner, can't do it. Holding on for dear life to that jersey was number 80, Mark Thomas, a defensive end.
Well, Mark Thomas has certainly made his presence known here today. Watch this. Comes out, just grabs him by the back of the shirt and brings him down, so that ball turns over. Mark Thomas. Well, I don't blame him for wearing that toboggan. 6'1", 175-pound senior Mark Thomas, and Arcola takes possession. Genoa-Kingston does not take advantage of that field position. And, the gentlemen, it's starting to snow again.
Yep, and Mark Thomas lines up at the tight end, number 80. Arcola with the ball. Quarterback is Johnny Fischel. He has his brother Jeff in there, and he gives it off to his brother Jeff. He's been their principal ball carrier. He slams hard and gets to about the 19-yard line, maybe a gain of a yard on the play. Who do you suppose was out of that tackle? You guessed 71, Bruce Seacoff. You hit it right in the nose, and some assistance from middle linebacker Tommy Price, 44.
I like the work Price does in there at linebacker, Vince. He's in a
good
lot of
athlete.
plays.
He's only a junior. 2nd down and 9 from the 19 with no score. We're late in the first half. Fischel on the fake, and he turned to his left side that time, and they were ready for him. They had that one diagnosed perfectly, and it is Thornton, number 33, 188-pound junior defensive end, who was there to make the stop on him.
I'd say these two teams have done a decent job of scouting because nobody's been able to spring any surprises so far offensively.
He lost some yardage on that one. It is now 3rd down and about 14. Ball at the 16-yard line. Just outside. Fumble. Who's going to get it? Purple jersey falling out of the media. I believe it was Johnny Fischel who recovered the fumble. Johnny Fischel, the quarterback, fumbling and recovering.
Their hands have got to be pretty cold along about here. It's 5:17 left to go here in the first half of play.
What do they call the Thorns that roll?
Target number 62 comes in. He centers for the kicks, and the deep man there is Clark, the punter. He gets a low line drive into that wind, and it is fumbled momentarily. Picked up again by Reitz, and Reitz is going to try to move it to the 40-yard line. He does, and he's brought down at about the 39 by Rick Potts, I'm sorry. Potts, number 26, 120-pound sophomore.
Well, you can see the kick. He's not rushed that much. It's a low line drive. Maybe that's the best way to kick against the wind today, but the ball just literally stops dead once it hits that turf. Potts picks it up, shakes off one man, but is not able to make much progress. Ken Landreth on the tackle.
26-yard punt with a 2-yard return.
Well, these two teams are sparring, slugging back and forth. Nobody able to score.
4:40, and the clock is running. He fakes the give. He drops back.
He's open.
Long pass here, intended for Wild. He's got it. That is a touchdown for Genoa-Kingston. With the split end, Dan Wild, 156-pound senior, being mobbed down there.
Well, there's Dan Wild. You can see, as we show you this replay, they know exactly what they want to do. He pumped once to let him know to keep going deeper, and as we pick it up with the camera, he just slips past the defenders. Now it's a question of whether the ball will get there in time, and it did. Right over Scott Gear, number 81, and John Fischel, number 12, both back on defense. This is the
Now,
extra
Brad
point.
Anderson is going to do the holding. Number 12 and Tom Price will try for the point after touchdown. He has hit on 15 out of 20 conversions this year for Genoa-Kingston.
You've got to appreciate what he did there. He threw that ball 40 yards in the air. Even though the wind was at his back, his hands has to be cold out there, having played as long as he has. And it was a tremendous effort on both of the young men's part, Potts and, of course, the receiver.
Right for the point after. Snap is good. Price's kick is not good. It is a low line drive and a score with 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining to play in the first half. Stays Genoa-Kingston 6 and Arcola nothing. Now it's a question, of course, of whether or not Arcola can come back. Take another look at the touchdown.
Well, let's take another look at it. You can see there that he said, let's go. And the man was open, and the only question I had, because both defenders were reasonably close, was whether or not the ball would get there, and it got. He fumbled as he fell, but the official ruled that he had possession, the touchdown had already been scored.
Danny Wild.
There's Dan Wild, 156.58.
Yep.
Alley-oop.
You know, he had him beat pretty good, too, because he kind of waited for the ball to come down, and he still got it.
Well, Tom Price, whose attempt for the conversion was a low-line drive, is teeing the ball up now at the 40-yard line. He has the wind behind him. Remember, in high school ball, if a kickoff goes out of bounds, we'll say it went out of bounds at the 35-yard line, the ball would be placed in at the 40-yard line. If it goes out at the 45, then it's brought in at the 45. There is no 5-yard penalty, no second kickoff in high school football. Jeff Fischel and Jim Tadd, number 31 and 21, back in there deep, along with number 30, Marty Thomas, for the Purple Riders of Arcola. They're going to have to hold the ball now for this kickoff.
That wind would blow it off otherwise.
That's Jim Potts holding number 10. Run up and a good boot by Price, carrying deep. Fumbled back there by Jeff Fischel. Now he picks it up. He's up to the 10-yard line to the 15. Reading it to the outside, and he is out of bounds at just about the 20-yard line. Brought down by number 20, Andy Duremeyer, a nose guard.
Well, let's take a look at this boot again. That's the kind of a kickoff you wouldn't mind seeing sometimes a Soldier Field. Jeff Fischel takes it on the line drive, fumbles it, heads for the sideline, tries to get a blocking wall, but you can see the defense picks him up on the outside. Number 20, Andy Duremeyer. You know, gentlemen, going back to that forward pass, it was a 40-yard touchdown pass. It actually must have traveled 50 to 55 yards in the air.
No, he caught it about 3 yards before going in, about 45 in the air. You're right, about 45 in the air.
Arcola trailing by 6 points, going into this strong wind. And he gives to the up man of that eye. It is Jimmy Tabb, number 31, and he runs into stiff resistance right at the line of scrimmage, led by number 44, Tom Price. A lot of the Genoa-Kingston people play both ways. 9 go both offense and defense. Arcola, on the other hand, has only 2 men. They line up in the I formation with a tight end on the left side and a flanker wide to the right side and a split end. And he gives in here, and there's a fumble as he tried to hand off to Jimmy Tabb, number 21. And the 2 Fischel brothers involved there. Number 31 is Jeff, and number 12 is John, the senior.
Let's take a look at it, Vince. I'm not sure what, we only see the fumble, and we see the Arcola gentleman in there, but I think on the handoff, they just never really had control of it. Tabb was the first man through, and perhaps Fischel wasn't sure if he wanted to go ahead and give it to him, but as it was, it fell to the ground, or to the ice in this case. It's a little slippery out there in some patches.
Yes, it is. They lose 3. It's 3rd down and 13 from their own 17-yard line late in the first half.
Look out.
Look out. He's being hit by number 33, Ross Thornton, a junior, and by the other defensive end, 150-pounder, Ron Roach, number 81. Very, very quick defense, Rick.
Defense. I don't think anyone blocked the outside man. Well, he cut inside the blocker. Did you see that? He cut exactly inside the blocker. Ross Thornton. Great cut.
They're going the wrong way. It's now 4th down and 20. And they're going to get rid of it in a hurry. Good line drive kick. Taken out there. They are not going to use the reverse. That is Phil Reitz with the ball, running laterally. Not getting downfield at all. He is brought down at about the 44-yard line by Mark Thomas, number 80, and by Mike Conlon, number 63.
Well, there's Phil Reitz. It was a good idea, but it didn't work. Something happened on the intended reverse on the return. So with 2:32, Vince, Genoa-Kingston not only has a 6-0 lead, but has possession of the football on the 45.
They may gamble again with a long pass, huh?
Well, with the wind at their back, I would think this would be a good time.
Why not?
They haven't really moved the ball that well against Arcola's defense.
No, they haven't. They have two wide receivers to the right side with a slot man in there, number 20 Dearmeyer. But Tom Price carrying to the left side, wants to stiff arm Thomas, and he can't quite do it. Thomas hangs in there, and he gets a little assistance from number 30, Marty Thomas. Number 80 is Mark Thomas, who's a senior. And Marty, number 30, 150-pound junior. Here it is again.
We'll see number 82 Hayward out on the block. He's able to go for one man, but the man slipped outside of him. I don't think Hayward exactly knew which way he was supposed to take the man. He didn't take him anywhere.
Might have been better off to cut inside on him. That's Tom Price, a junior, 6'3", 205-pounder. Splitting the backfield this time, and go to Rentz. Now to Hayward. He wants to pass. Anybody open? Nope. And he is struggling, but he is going to be brought down eventually. Right near the original line of scrimmage by Chuck Rich, number 76. That's Mike Hayward, 82.
Well, Vince, they had number 81, Ronnie Roach, deep, but they had several defenders on him, and Hayward could see as he looked downfield that it was just going to be taking a big gamble if he let the ball go. I think he did really the best thing is to just take his lumps and try again.
They like that little razzle-dazzle, though, don't they?
Well, why not?
Dearmeyer coming out to the right side, and also Wild. It's Dearmeyer in the slot. 3rd down and 8. Dropping back, looking. Good protection, a long pass to Hayward. Into the end zone, incomplete with double coverage back there. Thomas was there on it. And Scott Gare, number 81. Good coverage. So it's 4th down and 8 from the 43-yard line. We're in the final minute of the first half. There he is. That's Jimmy Potts dropping back, arcing one high in the air, hoping that his man would be able to get down there under it, but he overthrew him that time. Clock shows 51 seconds remaining to play. Genoa-Kingston leading by 6-0 over Arcola. He's going to put it in the air again, dropping way back. Maybe he was trying to set up a screen, can't do it. He eludes one tackler, gets a little helping block there from Beach. Finally gets rid of it. It is taken by Hayward, and 2 or 3 men go after him. Mark Thomas missed in there, but then Ken Landreth came in and he got the tackle at about the 35-yard line. That was very near to first down yardage. Take another look at it here. Jimmy Potts. The first man is Rich. Chuck Rich, who chased him. 68 there. Lawrence coming over to try to help him out. Now he goes to Hayward. Hayward eludes one man, stiff arms another one, brushes off another would-be tackler. And so Arcola will take over. They're in the purple. They don't have much time left in this first half. 18 seconds. They send out the flanker, Jeff Moore, to the left side, and they split Gary to the right side. Throw set in the backfield, and the give goes to Fischel. And Fischel crossed the line of scrimmage for a couple of yards, hit and driven back by Oda Parrish, number 25, a junior linebacker. Stoutly built fellow, 5'7", 186, and there is the horn ending the first half. So Genoa-Kingston on one long strike through the air has taken the lead here in this football game, which has been primarily a defensive battle. Neither team has been able to generate a steady offense on the ground, and you have to remember that they had snowfall here during the night. They did bring the snowplows out to clear off the field prior to the start of the football game, but there are some icy patches down there, and the reason that you cannot see these 5-yard lines clearly as you normally would on an artificial surface is because they are partially covered by snow. Snowplow just couldn't get it all off. They did some shoveling, and they also did some sweeping, and you do have still some icy patches down there with a strong wind blowing from left to right as you look at it. And there you see the water tower just beyond the field here on the campus of Illinois State University at Bloomington Normal, Illinois. And a very, very chilly first half of this football game with Genoa-Kingston leaving the field out in front. And I'll be back with a summary on the first half very shortly. Meanwhile, here, Floyd Brown in Tournament Central.
Well, thank you very much, Vince, and we'll be looking for you to bring us that wrap-up. We have a number of interesting features planned for the halftime intermission, so be sure to stay with us, and we'll be back to get started right after this.
pep sessions are just great, and all the students are involved, and we're just really happy to be here, and we know we can win the second half.
Well, if you don't, even if you don't, you're not going to be unhappy, are you?
No, because we're so proud of them to get this far.
All right, I don't want to see any tears from any of you, okay? All right, congratulations for being here, girls. Well, I think that's enough for now. Let's go back up to those warm fellows in the booth at Tournament Central.
6-0 at the end of the first half of play here. It certainly was an interesting first half, to say the least, wasn't it, gentlemen? It seems that the superior size has been the difference here, but not in the way that we thought, because it was the passing game that has proved the difference between the two ball clubs. In that first half, the score 6-0. The first down is Genoa-Kingston 3 to Arcola's 1. The net yard rushing, 32 for Genoa-Kingston, 5 for Arcola, which is indicative of how tough the line has been. The passing yardage, 50 for Genoa-Kingston, 40 of them coming on the touchdown pass by Potts. The return yardage net, 22 for Genoa-Kingston, 15 for Arcola. The pass attempt for Genoa-Kingston, Potts, 5 attempts. He had 3 completions and no interceptions. Arcola tried 3 passes, has no completions, and they did have 1 interception. And the young man that intercepted that particular pass is the same young man, Dan Wild, who caught that 40-yard scoring place and went into the end zone with it. So he's had a tremendous offensive first half here for Genoa-Kingston, and Jim Potts has run the team very well. The first quarter was played practically all of it in the Genoa-Kingston territory. They finally got the ball to the 49 of Arcola before the half. But then in the second quarter, when they finally got good field position, they took advantage of it. The first time, they moved the ball down to the 22 before they had to hand it over. And then the next time, they got it out on their 40. And one play, it was a pass, and that pass was for a touchdown. It's been cold, but I think, and Rick, you were just down on the field. You can probably give us some insight.
I want to tell you something, Floyd. It's a lot colder than it looks to us up here in the booth, and perhaps even to the people on television. Because the sun is shining, it's very misleading. That wind coming at least 25 to 30 miles an hour out of the northwest it's a cutting wind, and just in the small time I was down there talking with the cheerleaders, and I had gloves on, I could feel those hands starting to freeze up. So you can imagine, you can see the flags there. Now that's the wind out of the northwest blowing across Hancock Field, and you can imagine when you talk about a fumble or a snap or a fumbled pitch, or even on a pass reception, what these guys are going through. Now, I see some of them have got gloves on, but, you can't have gloves on in some of those skill positions, so you can imagine. A lot of the linemen, you'll notice, as we look down on the field as our Arcola team warms up, they've got gloves on, and I can understand why.
Yeah, you'll see it on the 60s and the 70s. No 80s, of course, because you've got the ends out there. They've got to catch the ball. I'll take that back. There's number 82 out there warming up with gloves on. That's probably just for the warm-up, though.
This snow came in last night. I don't think it was a significant snow, maybe 1 inch on top of the field, but then they came out with tractors this morning, cleaned the field off, and you can see some ice patches.
Rick, let's take a quick look now at some of the videotape highlights of the first half.
Well, these two teams are sparring, slugging back and forth. Nobody able to score.
4:40, and the clock is running. He fakes the give. He drops back. A long feed pass here. Intended for Wild. He's got it. That is a touchdown for Genoa-Kingston. With the split end, Dan Wild, 156-pound senior, being mobbed down there.
Well, there's Dan Wild. You can see, as we show you this replay, they know exactly what they want to do. He pumped once to let him know to keep going deeper, and as we pick it up with the camera, he just slips past the defenders. Now it's a question of whether the ball will get there in time, and it did. Right over Scott.
Well, there you saw the action, and Vince has just gotten the word and passed it along. Officially, that was a 39-yard scoring play. That pass that we've been saying was 40 yards. Maybe we were a little bit off by a yard by the obscured yard markers down on the field. Talking to some of the players from Genoa-Kingston prior to the start of the game, they had been out on the field, and this might be interesting to the folks at home watching it on their screen. The spots where you see the snow are the frozen spots on the field. And the spots where it's greenest, they say the footing is not so bad, so they can do some cutting in this area. However, the game has been played practically in its entirety on the south end of the field, which has been the clearest end.
Maybe it's warmer down there, Floyd. Did you ever think of that?
You didn't look too hot to me down there.
Well, it's easy for you guys to laugh, you know. One of these years they'll promote me up here, and you guys will be down on the field.
Heaven forbid.
Well, let's see why you like it.
Well, the co-captains have met once more out in the center of the field, shaking hands with one another.
Keeping warm.
Johnny Fishel, number 12, Steve Clark, number 64, co-captains for Arcola today. And it's interesting to me, gentlemen, that Genoa-Kingston, which is leading in this football game by a score of 6-0. Potts, their quarterback, has hit on 3 out of 5 passes, 1 for the touchdown. They have most of their fellows playing either offense or defense. Dan Wild, who caught the touchdown pass, is one of them who goes both ways, number 40. Number 76, Mike Beach, a junior. And number 82, Mike Hayward, also plays on defense in addition to offense. And their number 20, Andy Diermeyer,
maybe they keep warm that way, playing both ways. You get cold on that sideline.
Arcola, on the other hand, only has 2 on offense and 2 on defense who don't play both ways.
Frankly, Vince, I'm a little surprised Arcola, a student enrollment of only 281, is able to round up enough football players to have 2 platoon football.
That's right.
That's really remarkable. That
Yes,
must
it
say
is.
something for their program.
Yeah. Great community spirit, no question about that. That's Tom Price, who plays middle linebacker, and he also plays fullback. And holding that ball for him down there is number 10, Jim Potts, as there's too much wind to stay on the tee without being held. Number 20, Jeff Moore, a junior. Number 31, Jeff Fishel, a junior. And number 30, Marty Thomas, a junior, are the deep men for Arcola in purple. Here's the run up by Price, and he gets a lot of leg into that one. Backing up at the 8-yard line and taking it is Jeff Moore, number 20, up to the 15, the 20, 24. Kept one hand on the ground to keep from going down all the way before going down at about the 25-yard line with Andy Diermeyer, number 20, and Oda Parrish, number 25, for Genoa-Kingston in on the stop. Tom Price lost a shoe temporarily down there. He's the fellow who got the foot into that one. So we have started the second half. Genoa-Kingston on defense here, leading by a score of 6-0.
Well, Vince, here's a team that has scored less than 20 points only once this season. And they've been held scoreless for the first half. So let's see if they pull out the stops.
Brother to brother, and Brother Jeff slipped and fell on that kind of icy surface down there as he tried to turn the corner.
That was a green spot. Maybe everything's frozen now.
Yeah, could be. So he dropped about 3 yards or 4 yards on the play back to the 21-yard line, where it's going to be 2nd down and 14 for Arcola. Johnny Fishel, the senior, the quarterback, 5'11", 160, directs that offense. And he has 3 wide receivers to the left side. Here's a pitch with brother, and oh, man, Mr. Thornton, 33, had it smelled out perfectly. Just as the pitch out went from John to Jeff Fishel, Mr. Thornton was there to nail him.
An interesting item here on this team from Arcola, Vince. They played in the 2A, and they made the quarterfinals in the 2A last year. But being such a small school, they just couldn't compete in that Okaw Valley conference, and so now they're playing as independents in the 1A class.
3 wide receivers to the right side. He jumps up, throws it right over the middle on 3rd and 22. It is complete, but for short yardage out to about the 18-yard line.
It's a good thing Bob Lee didn't throw that jump pass that accurately a couple of weeks ago for the Vikings.
Yeah, that would have been
Price, Bill shot. Price 44, shot 42. 150-pound senior in on that tackle. And Steve Clark is back to punt again. He punted 3 times for an average of only 21 yards in the first quarter, kicking into the wind. Gets a pretty good foot into it. It bounces at the 45-yard line, picked up at the 48, and a reverse it goes to Potts. Potts trying to turn to the left side, runs into number 63 by Conlon, and a flag is down there.
Well, I think they're going to call a late hit, Vince, although I wasn't able to see exactly who the boy was.
All right, we have a consultation down in the field. We have just gotten underway in the second half with Genoa-Kingston leading Arcola 6-0. Our coverage of the State High School Football Championships will continue after this. For Genoa-Kingston.
Now you'll see 44, I think, is to the left. Make the block. There's the block by Price. Just enough for Reince to slip through to get the first down. Well, when you've got two running backs blocking for each other, it makes so much difference. And I think that's what you'll see with the really good running teams in this tournament, Vince.
Reince and Price split the ball-carrying chores in the first half. Each carried 7 times. A pitch this time to Price. He gets one block, and he stiff arms one man, tries to get by another one. And he is dragged down by Steve Veach, number 51, who held on for dear life. And then Johnny Fischel, a 160-pounder, came up to make the final assist on it, but he gets it inside the 25 to the 24-yard line.
Well, they pitch him pretty far outside this time. He can see no opening inside, so he has to try to get outside. Pretty good pursuit, but he's got such power that they're not able to drag him down with high tackles.
Dave Cook, number 71, replacing Mark Thomas, number 80, defensively for Arcola. Thomas limping just a little bit. And the gift to Phil Reince behind Price's block, and he tries to cut inside. Andy Diermeyer, number 20, had trouble taking care of his men, but he picked up short yardage to about the 21. Dave Cook, who just came in, number 71, makes the stop. Cook, a junior, 6-footer, 175. Ball at the 21-yard line. It is second down. 5 yards to go. Genoa-Kingston leading 6-0. We're in the third period. And it's Genoa-Kingston with a football. Wing back to the left side. It is Price carrying the ball this time, and a big opening at the line of scrimmage. Look at him go. He is down to the 15-yard line and inside it.
Well, this is a tough run. I mean, it just takes a lot of strength, and he shakes off that first tackler.
Diermeyer, number 20, helping to clear the way with a good solid block. All right, timeout down in the field. With the score, Genoa-Kingston 6 and Arcola nothing. Our coverage of the state high school football championships will continue right after this.
Boy, it is really cold out here. Look at some of the fans, how they're bungling up and trying to find a corner anywhere to get out of this wind that's blowing in at about 35 miles per hour in gusts out of the north. We have 4:54 to go here in the third quarter. Arcola is driving. It started on their own 32, and now they're threatening 1st and 10 on the 14. Vince?
Leading ball carrier Tom Price here on this drive, number 44. Alongside of him is Reince, who leads the way on this carry by Price. And he's got himself a couple of yards before he can be being stopped by Johnny Fischel, number 12.
Now, Vince Price has picked up 46 yards and 8 carries just on this drive.
That's amazing.
It is, and you have to credit those interior linemen, Dave Ewis, Jeff Hinkle, Mike Quinn, Wendell Lawrence, and certainly number 76, Mike Beach, because they're blowing out that defensive line of Arcola.
They're at the 12-yard line, a pickup of 2. It's second down and 8. And it is Reince this time carrying on a quick opener off his own right guard and tackle. Beach and Lawrence leading the way with key blocks up front, and Ken Landreth, number 74, in on the stop. Now it is third down and about 4. Ball at the 8-yard line of Arcola. Genoa-Kingston leading 6-0 in possession of the football, and they are on a long drive. Packer and wing back to the right side, and it's Tom Price, and look at him accelerate as he hits that line of scrimmage, and he's inside the 5, in for a touchdown. Tom Price, an 8-yard touchdown gallop.
Now let's take a look at it. That's his 9th carry in this drive. You can see the hole develop, and after that, he's hit at the 5, and strictly sheer effort takes him down.
Let me tell you, that was super.
Let's take another look at this, Vince, because this young man was hit at the 5-yard line and literally fights himself to the goal line. And that's a very big touchdown.
Just a junior.
Very big touchdown in this ball game. They did exactly what their coach told them to at the halftime. So take the ball, keep it on the ground, and score.
Now they're going to try for a 2-point conversion. But a flag goes down, and there's going to be a walk-off against them.
Well,
so that's going to make it a little tougher. Think they might throw one here?
I would imagine you can look for the fullback to get this wide somewhere and say, look out, here we come. It's interesting, in the point after touchdown before, when they tried to kick it, the holder just couldn't handle the ball. It's so cold, so that might be one of the factors why they don't want to gamble that again.
I think they'll put it in the air, Vince.
I do, too. Let's see if Potts does it. He's number 10, the quarterback, and he has Reince and Price, the running backs. He's going to put it up. Looks in the end zone. Man was open, and he overthrew Dan Wild deep in the end zone, right under the crossbar. He was open momentarily, Rick.
Well, when the story of this game's written, this is it right here. Tom Price, what a touchdown run that was. Look at the string of defenders laying on the ground. Let's take another look from the end zone, that same play. Genoa-Kingston now leads 12-0. Just a straight handoff. The hole was there. 1 tackler, 2 tacklers, 3 tacklers, 4 tacklers, and the 5th man rides on home with him.
Arcola, the Purple Riders, in trouble now. They are trailing 12-0 with 3 minutes, 44 seconds left in the third quarter.
Genoa-Kingston drove 13 plays on that drive.
Jimmy Tabb, Jeff Moore, Jeff Fishel, deep men.
All on the ground, Vince.
Tom Price, who was the key man in that touchdown drive, is going to tee it up here at the 40.
The total yardage on that drive was 68 yards, too.
That's right.
A junior, 6'3", 205, Tom Price. Here's the run-up. Kind of a little stagger step there, and he boots one at about the 25, and is picked up by Marty Thomas, number 30, and up men to the 30 to about the 34-yard line. So Arcola, pretty good position now.
Well, Vince, the fans of these two ball clubs might be interested to know about their welcome home plans. I know that both teams will be going home tonight. Genoa-Kingston plans a pep rally at the gymnasium of their high school, followed by a dance and a buffet as soon as that team returns home this evening. And Arcola will have a car caravan from Galton to Arcola. At 5:30, they plan to have a pep rally and a dance at the school at 8 o'clock. Community leaders will then be presenting awards to the school, and well-deserved.
Jeff Moore wide to this left side of the field, and the quarterback, Johnny Fishel, handing it off this time. Marty Thomas, the ball carrier, a junior, 5'11", 150, runs into linebacker Mike Hayward, 82, and cornerback Dan Wild, number 40. Got almost 10 yards on it. We're going to bring the chain gang in. I think this is the first time we've had to have a measurement today, gentlemen. We've had one clipping penalty. We've had a couple of encroachment penalties and an illegal procedure and a delay of game penalty, but they got the 1st and 10. That's the first carry, I believe, for Marty Thomas today.
Yes, it is, Vince. He didn't really play in the offensive backfield in the first half. I would say that considering the conditions, that this game has been played very efficiently by these two teams as far as penalties is concerned.
Scott Gare, wide receiver to the left side. We have 3 minutes and clock is running. Left to play in the third quarter, and jumping off is Mike Beach, number 76 of Genoa-Kingston. And Ken Landreth, number 74, plays opposite him for Arcola, is going to call that, or draw that penalty. Ken Landreth, number 74.
As I understand the encroachment rule, you don't even have to make contact with anyone on the other line. You just have to move into that area, and even if you do return, it's still a penalty?
It is still a penalty.
Wow.
A 5-yard penalty. So now they work from 1st and 15. And he has wide receivers to both sides of the field as they line up in that I formation. Now switch into the deuce backfield. Dropping back, looking for a receiver. Pressure put on. Can't get away. Brought down by the nose guard, Andy Duermeyer. Number 20, 165-pound, very quick senior. And Arcola going in reverse after picking up the 1st and 10 on the run by Marty Thomas on their first play of this drive. This is Andy Duermeyer, D-E-U-R-M-I-E-R, the nose guard. 5'10", 165. So it is now 2nd down and 25 from their own 29-yard line. Fishel dropping back, pursuit on against him. He throws one out to the right side, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Marty Thomas, who was covered very, very well by Mike Hayward.
Well, this is Hayward isolated, the left linebacker. Now, they tried to set up a screen on this, but he read it immediately when he saw the lineman rush, and very good pursuit in on the tackle.
Beautiful.
It's very quick, too, isn't he?
Yeah, he got over there. You could see the recognition as soon as he saw the play developing. He made his move.
Good-sized kid, 6'1", 186, a senior. It is now 3rd down and 25. They have more flank wide to the right side to split into Scott Gare on this narrow side of the field. And Johnny Fishel dropping back, gives it on the draw to his brother Jeff, and he is nailed at the 25-yard line by Bruce Kickoff, number 71. They are going to have to punt in. Steve Clark, their punter, will be the man to try to get one away into this win. That's number 71, Kickoff, riding off the far side of the field to Genoa-Kingston sideline.
Well, with excuse me, Vince, with 1:23 remaining, and it looks like the center's having a little problem with his jersey.
I'm not at all surprised. He's having some trouble with his hands, too. This is Steve Clark. Get this one away from about his 17-yard line, and a low kick. Bouncing around, and it gets by that up man there, Rick Potts, but he did not touch the ball, and they'll let it be dead. That is Chuck Rich who falls on it for Arcola, I believe. Downs it there at the, we can read the yard line. I believe it's a 40 or 41-yard line is where it'll be marked.
A little bit of a break for Arcola, and certainly in that position they needed it because down 12-0, they didn't want to give such good field position away again. So at least Genoa-Kingston 60 yards away.
Gives them a net of 34 on the kick, and that was excellent. One item that might be of interest is that both of the scoring plays have come with the win to the back of the team that scored, Genoa-Kingston. Arcola will have the win in the final quarter.
Good point, Floyd. Flanker Dearmeyer in motion, back to the left side. And the give goes to Phil Wright's number 28. Puts his head down, and he is met by Chuck Rich almost at the line of scrimmage. We'll give him a pickup of about 2.5 or 3 yards on the play.
Well, this is where the game is now being decided, Vince, right in that line, as it often is with a good running team. And Reintz and Price, I don't know why they weren't able to get it going in the first half, but they found a formula in the second half. Maybe they've changed blocking assignments a little bit. They're opening holes for these two young men.
Dearmeyer wing back on the left side, and the pitch is going out to Hayward. At about the 40-yard line, he was open, but they could not get the ball to him. Mike Hayward.
Oh, he got the ball.
Right through his hands, the worst place.
Well,
kind of hard.
Gotta be cold.
He caught a couple passes the first half. Take another look.
There's the ball right there. A little bit high, but I think he could have had it on a warmer day.
Yeah.
Ball's got to feel like a rock.
Clock shows 4 seconds left to play in this third quarter, with Genoa-Kingston coming up to the line of scrimmage here. And they have Hayward as a center and Tom Kabusiak. On third down, back to punt. They want to get this punt, of course, with the wind behind him, and it's fumbled by Kabusiak. Picks it up, and somehow he gets it away as pressure was put on by Steve Clark. I don't know how in the world he ever got it by Mr. Clark. As he fumbled, that snap from center, and the ball is dead at about the 35-yard line, where Arcola will be putting it in play as we move into the last quarter.
Well, here's the play again, and I can only say, people, be forgiving, because it's so difficult for those fellows to hold on to that football. I'm almost surprised they didn't call a penalty there, but maybe the rush man got a piece of the ball, and then he's able to run into the kicker.
Did a great job. All right, there's a break in the action. The score, Genoa-Kingston 12, Arcola nothing.
The final quarter. Vince and Rick, as we sit down and look at our statistics here on the field with the young men, and I'm amazed each year we have said now in the 4 years we've been down, give them some good weather just one time down there. And at least the sun has shone through, and I suppose this is a little better than the rain, but it's still a very difficult day. Arcola putting the ball in play on their own 35, and here's Vince Lloyd.
All right, thank you, Floyd. And Johnny Fishel, the quarterback, wants to go to the air, and he hits his receiver, the split end, Scott Gare. Makes a good run back up past the midfield stripe into Genoa-Kingston territory, where Mike Hayward and Tommy Price bring him down.
Well, Vince Scott Gare has been the leading receiver all season, but this is the first time they've been able to connect with him today.
He does a nice job after making the catch here.
That's right. I know that they've wanted to get the ball out to him. They haven't been able to. Yep. They haven't had the field position really to throw the kind of plays they'd like to. Now with the wind at their back, they're going to try to cause some excitement in this fourth quarter.
1st and 10 in enemy territory. Dropping back, look out. Good pursuit put on there by Thornton, and he is finally brought down by Andy Dearmeyer on the far side. And Mike Beach also putting on pressure along with Thornton.
Yeah, you can see the pressure being put on in there. First it was Thornton. Said hello. He got away from him. Now you can see Mike Beach, and then finally the tackler.
And Mr. Kickoff.
Durmeyer, too. Boy.
But inside. Durmeyer, 165-pound nose guard. He is number 20. It is now second down and 22. Arcola not able to sustain an offense today. High formation, and the pitch goes to one of the Fischel boys. And he fumbles it momentarily, but still breaks loose from a couple of tacklers and is spun out of bounds. Back at the 43-yard line by Oda Parrish, number 25, a junior for Genoa-Kingston.
Well, let's take a look at it from the end zone. I think you'll see 82, Hayward, almost getting back there at the 35-yard line. He had his shirt, but couldn't quite hold on to it.
Fischel to Fischel. Coach David Russell told me earlier this week, he said, we've got to stop that pitch from brother to brother. John, number 12, to Jeff, number 31. Well, and they've stopped it today.
Yeah, they've worked on it pretty hard, apparently. They've got their defense spread out.
Go to the air. Splits his wide receivers, and he's going to go to the ground. That's Mike Beach, who nails it. Nobody was open. He had Neil Snyder, 84, down field as an intended receiver.
Well, Vince, it's 4th and long in the fourth quarter, and you're down by 12 points. I suppose a good, sound, fundamental football coach would punt the ball here with the wind at their back and try to get a break at the other end.
I see Snyder is putting on a different numbered jersey from 84 as he moves in to center the football.
This would probably enhance their field position even more here to punt it down with the wind at their back. They can get it down and then hope to hold the Genoa-Kingston boys low.
Steve Clark's punt takes a good bounce, and they're going to try the reverse, and it's going to misfire.
I think they better wait.
Rick Potts to Bill Wright's little mix-up there. So the ball winds up inside the 20-yard line of Genoa-Kingston. They lead 12-0 in the fourth quarter, and our coverage of the state high school football championships will continue right after this.
Well, here are the cheerleaders down on the field, and the young ladies still are managing to come up with a smile here today.
That's the Arcola bunch, isn't it, Claude?
It certainly is, and it says a great deal about the fortitude of this team. They haven't given up, and of course there's still plenty of time. 9:50 left here in the fourth quarter of play, and they've got the wind at their back, but Genoa-Kingston has the ball, and here's Vince Lloyd.
And they've got to stop them and get that ball back in a hurry. It is Jimmy Potts turning, and he hands it off this time to Wrights, and he finds opening. Look at him go. Phil Wrights, number 28, is finally hauled down by Marty Thomas at about the 50-yard line on the far side of the field.
Well, there's nothing fancy about it, Vince. He just takes it off right tackle, swings out wide, gets the block early. Wrights has a little more breakaway speed than Price, and you can see what he does. He just goes through the hole, gets a little help there from the blocker, 20, Andy Durmeyer.
Marty Thomas, 47-yard line, Genoa-Kingston in white and orange with the football. Tom Price
there it
throws a shoulder into one man, breaks that tackle, being brought down from behind at about the 30-yard line. Scott Gear hanging on, brings down Tom Price, the big junior fullback.
Well, once again, Vince, I can't say enough about the offensive line work here by Genoa-Kingston.
Look at this shoulder, right here.
Well, look at this. He took the one hit, shook it loose, and now he says, what am I doing? Still running. I'm supposed to be down by now. He's not used to those long-distance rambles.
140-pounder who brought him down, Scott Gear, from behind, and just held on for dear life. So they're not able to stop Genoa-Kingston. They are down at the 28-yard line of Arcola, and farther now with Phil Wrights. He's in for a touchdown. Number 28, Phil Wrights. As Genoa-Kingston just rips Arcola apart on this drive in the fourth quarter.
Well, let's take a look at Wrights again. I think he picked up about, 29 yards from the line of scrimmage. Just a quick hit into the left guard hole, then veered out past the linebackers. Cornerbacks couldn't get over in time, nor could the safety. So Wrights picked up 27 yards on the first carry on this series. Then Price came back with 28, and Wrights came right back with 29.
That's something. Really chewed it up. They're going to go for the two-point conversion as they lead 18-0 here in the fourth period. And this is Wrights again, and he is being wrestled down by Johnny Fischel. So again, they failed for the two-point conversion drive. Failed twice on that and missed on the time for the point after the first touchdown with 9:03 left to play. It is Genoa-Kingston 12 and Arcola nothing. Our coverage of the State High School Football Championships will continue right after this.
Well, Vince, we're going to give you a couple more looks at this touchdown. Phil Reitz, who, according to my unofficial statistics now,
again?
Yeah, 14. He's gained 83 yards and 14 carries, and his teammate, Tom Price, has 17 carries for 107 yards. Let's take the low-angle look at this. Mr. Reitz, he gets the quick hole and keeps his balance and just literally outruns the defense to the outside. So those two men between them, Reitz and Price, have gained 190 yards on the ground and 31 carries, and that's where this game is being won now, in that offensive line and in that running attack.
Coach Tom Price, number 44, is going to be kicking into this wind that is kind of blowing across the field from the bottom part of your screen to the top, and coming out of the northwest here.
Yeah,
strong wind.
More snow flurries too, Vince.
Yeah.
You know, if it was snowing harder, we'd have a blizzard on our hands.
Low kick hits one of the up men, and it's picked up by Arcola's Jimmy Tabb, number 21, and he gets it out to about the 40-yard line, where it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Purple Riders. That's Thornton, number 33, one of the bottom men of the tackle, and another one down there is number 22.
There's the kick. You can see it hits the up man.
Yeah.
Number 51.
Number 22 is Pat Calendo on that kicking team, 6-footer, a junior, 172 pounds. All right, 1st and 10. Johnny Fischel, number 12, directing the attack. He drops back, looks for a receiver, and he hits him perfectly, and he stays in bounds. A beautiful move by Scott Gare.
He slipped out of bounds, Vince. He just couldn't keep his footing long enough to stay in bounds.
Dan Wild, the cornerback, number 40, in there defensively for Genoa-Kingston. That's Scott Gare, G-H-E-R-E, 140-pound senior, 5'11".
He could have a busy quarter, Vince. They really have no choice. 8:36 remaining, down 18-0. They've got to try to attack over the top because they haven't been able to run well against Genoa-Kingston.
Wide receivers to both sides. He has Gare to the right. He pumps once, and he's looking for him deep.
A beautiful
Here's Gare, and he just can't quite make the catch at the 30-yard line.
I like that play because he faked the sideline pattern, and Gare actually slipped past the defensive man, but he just couldn't get the ball to him.
Footing must be pretty difficult down there where it is. He got a pretty good amount of mustard. He was being rushed pretty good. It was a good throw on his part, but not good enough.
Not quite far enough. It sort of nosed up.
Yeah.
Deep men on coverage for Genoa-Kingston, number 12, Brad Anderson, the junior, and Dan Wild, number 40. High formation, and the give goes to the deep man, Jeff Fischel. Look at him drive. And he is down to about the 45-yard line of Genoa-Kingston before he is brought down. Making the tackle, Brad Anderson, number 12, a safety man. And they pick up the 1st and 10. Temporarily stops the clock, 8:24 left to play in the 4th quarter. Genoa-Kingston on the defense. Arcola trailing in this football game. They have the ball, 18-0 against them. From the eye, he's going to put it in the air again. Has pretty good protection. Long pass intercepted by number 40, Dan Wild. He's at the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the 41-yard line. He is run out of bounds. Dan Wild, number 40, with the interception.
Well, Vince, number 84, Neil Snyder, was the intended receiver, and quite frankly, I thought he was going to be open, but
yes, he was.
Really good play coming across by Wild. He cut right across in front of the intended receiver and made the interception.
And I think you just saw the clip that was called there.
All right, let's take a look again and see if we can catch the clip.
Right here. No, right here coming up.
Oh, I guess we missed it.
No, it's another angle.
Excellent piece of defensive work, I think, by Wild, because that pass could have gone all the way.
Oh, yes.
Because he had the first secondary man beat.
Neil Snyder, number 84, is the intended receiver.
There was a clipping penalty on the return, as so often happens after an interception. But the important thing is, Vince, with 8:06, this team that keeps the ball on the ground and eats up the clock has the ball, and you know against the wind, they're not going to be throwing it.
Well, here they didn't have to the last time they had possession.
That's right.
Reitz and Price, number 28 and 44, were devastating, and this is an end around with Tex Hayward, or Mike Hayward carried. Cuts back into the left side to about the 30-yard line. A pretty good gain as he runs into Jim Tapp.
We have a penalty flag after the play, Vince. I'm not sure whether there was a clipping or perhaps a personal foul in there. Oh, it's a holding penalty. A holding penalty against Genoa-Kingston.
So that'll rub out the gain by Mike Hayward, the tight end. Here it is again.
Yeah, they've used this play before, the end around, and this one seemed to develop pretty well because they blocked out. Maybe the holding was in on the block.
And he reads it back to the inside. Real nice.
Where'd you come up with Tex Hayward? Do you have an old cowboy friend by the name of Tex?
Howdy, Tex.
Well, the holding's going to take it all the way back to about the 14.5-yard line. But that doesn't bother them. Their last drive started on the 19.
He looks like a Texan, you know?
Yes, he does.
Long, lanky.
Yeah. Lean.
Yep.
Like me.
Especially lean.
Yeah, there's a lot of lean there.
18-0 the score. Genoa-Kingston with the ball and with the 18, and that's Phil Wright's number 28 out across the 20. Chuck Rich, 76, making the stop for the Arcola Purple Riders.
Yeah, you have to be impressed with this running attack. This young man runs hard, as does Price. They both run very hard. Nothing fancy about that. Straight ahead. He's in Beach's grips, but he still gets another 2 or 3 yards. Phil Wrights.
Genoa-Kingston with an enrollment in the high school of 447. They're in DeKalb County. The city of Genoa with a population of 3,300. Wing back to the right side. 2nd and 13. It's Tom Price. Big fullback out across the 25 to about the 26. Mike Conlon and Johnny Fishel, 63 and 12, and in the stop for Arcola. Arcola's high school enrollment, 281. They're in Douglas County, out of Arcola, with a population of 2,400.
Temperature is down to 21 degrees out here, for those at home who might wish to know.
At least.
They're down an 8 for Genoa-Kingston. Arcola would like to force a punt here if they possibly can. Racing out to the right is Jimmy Potts.
Little bootleg.
And he got away from Steve Clark all right.
Well, he faked the reverse fence and kept the ball himself around the short side, but didn't quite break it loose as he had hoped he would.
Got away from Clark, 64, but 66, Randy Wright, the outside left linebacker.
It looked like he had a little option to pass on that field.
Yeah, he could have.
Downfield.
He could have.
4th and 3 at the 32.
Well, they'll have to put it up now, 4th and 2. 6:35 remaining. You know they're going to try to punt and hold them back to about the 35 or 40 if they can.
Tom Kubasiak, a senior. Into punt. He had to punt 3 times in the first half. He's kicking into this wind. Good snap. Gets it away from the 24. Low driving kick, letting it go, but there's Johnny Fishel. And it is out of bounds over in the far side of the field for Arcola. And the Purple Riders will have possession with 6:28 left to play in this football game for the 1A championship. Genoa-Kingston leading 18-0. Our coverage.
6 minutes and 28 seconds left to play here in the 4th quarter. The first game of the 1A championship, the first game to be played here. We have the 2A game, which will be coming up following this. Genoa-Kingston just punted a net of 30 yards. Arcola puts the ball in play, and here's Vince Lloyd.
It's a deuce backfield with the quarterback, Fishel, and he is handing off on a drive through the left side of that line. He's trying to follow the block of Steve Veach. Jeff Fishel, his brother, making a carry on it and running into Tom Price and Oda Parrish, the linebackers.
5 yards. 2nd and 5.
For Genoa-Kingston. He picked up 5 yards. Ball at the 43, 2nd down and 5. Jeff Moore, number 20, wide receiver coming out to the right side, and they split the end on the left side. He gives it again to the running back, and it's
Thomas, I think.
Marty Thomas, number 30. He's got the 1st and 10, just across the 50.
Well, one of the tacklers reached in and knocked that ball loose, but I think very fortuitous bounce right back into Thomas's arms right there. So he very quickly and wisely dropped on it. A nice gain, actually.
Mike Hayward was the guy who knocked it away from him. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line of Genoa-Kingston.
Long pass. Nope.
No, he gives it again to that running back. That's Marty Thomas, who did not carry the ball in the first half, but he's gone well here in this half. And Tom Price makes the stop on him. And let's pause 5 seconds for station identification.
This is WGN-TV Chicago Television 9.
Well, Vince, we want to give our thanks today also to the telecable company of Bloomington Normal for providing this program feed, and especially in these weather conditions. I hope it's all right.
He fakes the give, he keeps, he spins loose, and he's across the 40 and down to the 36-yard line. That is Johnny Fischel with a very fine fake and a good twisting run.
Let's take a look again at Johnny Fischel. You know, we're finally seeing a little flash of the offense that this team is able to provide, because this team didn't get this far by not being able to move the ball. They averaged 39 points a game, 39.9 all season. But this could be the 7th shutout for Genoa-Kingston. Well, there was a little...
There's a little movement.
Movement on the defensive line. I think an uneven cadence might have done the job there.
Number 74 you'll see in there for the orange and blue of Genoa-Kingston, Dean DeVal, a 6-footer, 268-pound senior, number 74, defensively.
They're calling motion in the backfield, Vince, and it goes against the Purple Riders.
Something made him jump.
Yeah. A little less than 5 minutes in the football game. It is 1st and 15. Arcola with the ball at the Genoa-Kingston 40. And Fischel hands it off again, this time to brother Jeff Fischel, who gallops through the line of scrimmage down to about the 34-yard line. Well, number 74 into the stop, along with Hayward and Anderson.
Can't say too much for little Jeff Fischel, 5'7", 130 pounds today, Vince. He really is a good runner, good balance.
Yes,
he's up against a bigger defensive line and perhaps some bigger people than he's played this season, but he's done a good job.
Wide receivers to both sides. He gives this time on the run to Barney Thomas, number 30. Tom Price, 44, in on the stop, a linebacker for Genoa-Kingston. One of the stalwarts in there helping to block up the hole was Bruce Kickoff, number 71.
Well, there's number 44, Tom Price. You've seen what he can do carrying the ball. He does a pretty good job finding it.
I would think he will pass here, 3rd and 8. Yep. He's going to put it in the air. And a nice catch made at the 26-yard line on the far side of the field by Neil Snyder, number 84, and he's got the 1st and 10. That was a big play. They had a 3rd and 8, and they made enough on it there. Brad Anderson, number 12, coming up to make this tackle on Snyder. Neil Snyder, 140-pound senior, 5'9". With the receivers on the option, he pitches out. This time it is Jeff Fischel trying to turn the corner. Can't quite shake loose all the way from Brad Anderson, number 12. And brought down with Bill Schott, 42, coming in for the final assist. Jeff Moore putting a pretty good block in there, number 20.
Well, here's the pitch. They can go to Jeff inside or outside, but very fine pursuit over there by Moore. 42, Bill Schott coming up for the tackle. Brad Anderson also in on the play. I think Arcola very much wants to get on the scoreboard here, Vince. Nobody wants to be shut out in the state championship game, and they've had such a great season.
2nd down and 6. He's got 2 wide receivers, and that's Tom Price.
That looked more like Bob Lee's jump pass.
Yeah. Very alert defense for Neil Snyder. That Price is a super athlete, isn't he? A junior, 6'3", 205, number 44.
I would say another year like this year, a senior year of football next season at Genoa-Kingston, and a lot of schools might be interested in him to play college football.
Yes, sir. Gare wide to the right side and Moore to the left side for Arcola's Purple Riders. Johnny Fischel, quarterback. And he gives it in here to Marty Thomas, straight ahead over left guard and tackle to about the 15-yard line. 240-pound Bruce Kickoff and Oda Parrish in the stop.
Well, you know, Vince, the junior Marty Thomas, number 30, was not in the starting backfield at the beginning of this game, but has really done quite a job, I think, in the last half since he's come in. And he'll be back to help this Arcola offense next season.
Replaced Jim Tabb, who I think might have had a bit of a minor injury at the outset. Here's a pitch out to Jeff Fischel, and they're on him like a blanket. Everybody's swarming on the Fischel.
And Price is one of them.
Yep. Oda Parrish also in there.
The pursuit on this Genoa-Kingston team is just phenomenal.
They made up their minds, and this is, of course, a part of the strategy of Coach David Russell to stop that pitch out and the wide stuff of Arcola, and they have done it to perfection. 18-0, they lead in this football game for the Class 1A championship of the state of Illinois. We have 2 minutes and about 45 seconds remaining to play.
Well, Vince, last year the champion in 1A came out of the same conference Hampshire, Illinois. The
Yes,
year
right.
before that, it was Triope of Concord, and in 1974, it was Flanagan.
And timeout is called here by Genoa-Kingston as Brad Anderson, the junior, quarterbacking him now, calls time with 2:36 left to play.
You might be interested, too, to get down here. Genoa-Kingston had to beat Hampshire, and it was a triple overtime.
That was a homecoming game. One of the cheerleaders was telling me.
Yeah.
It's got to be a... Well, they've got 2:36 to go to hold on.
Well, it's a good football team. Both good football teams.
You don't get to the championship game without being tough. The two wide receivers to the left side, the counterplay going, however, to Russ Thornton, who comes in as a fullback, replacing Tommy Price. And Thornton, with his first chance to carry today, barrels all the way down to about the 32-yard line. Stopped there by Johnny Fischel, number 12, and Steve Beach, number 51. Thornton, a junior, 6'3", 188.
They're going to have a little size in that backfield next year.
Yes, they are. Sure are.
Reince is a senior, but if they come back with Thornton and Price or somebody like that, they're going to be pretty sizable.
Look at the way they hustle up to that line of scrimmage. The orange helmets, the orange football pants, the white jerseys, and the give goes this time to number 22, who's carrying for the first time today. That is Pat Calindo. Stopped by Tim Carter, number 70.
3-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 7. Ball at the 35.
So the clock shows less than 2 minutes. Genoa-Kingston leading 18-0. They have the football. 2nd down and 7 at their own 35. And Brad Anderson, the quarterback, gives it to Thornton. And Thornton across the 35 to about the 36 or 37-yard line. Joe Evers, number 51, helping to block. Clear path for him up front.
Recovered by Genoa-Kingston.
He fumbled,
Gain of 1.
but recovered his own fumble. Joe Evers in on that one.
Well, Vince, they're punching it out pretty well. They got the ball back on their own 20 for this particular possession. They punched it out to the 37, and they've got 1:05 left to go. They've already eaten up more than a minute in this possession. They might keep it all the way till the end of the game.
It's 3rd and 6. And quarterbacking now is 15 down Matthew. And he turns, a little mix-up on that backfield now as a lot of the fellas get some experience. I like to see that by Coach David Russell. Gave it to Jerry Dunset, carry for the first time today, number 24. He only weighs 145, and he ran into Mike Conlon, the linebacker. So it is now 4th down. And let's see if Tom Kubasiak is going to come in to punt the ball. John Fischel retreating in a safety for Arcola, along with Marty Thomas, number 30. We have less than 30 seconds to play, and Arcola is going to call timeout. They would love desperately, with one final chance to get their hands on the football, to get on that scoreboard in this 1A championship football game. The sun has disappeared again momentarily. Got a kind of a cloud cover here. Genoa-Kingston leading 18-0. They scored the first touchdown on a 39-yard pass play in the first half to Dan Wild, 156-pound end, a senior.
Managing this year's Class 1A state championship game.
And they have really stopped the outside running game of Arcola. That's been their key for them in this one. And they've had strong running from their tailback, 28, Phil Reince. Very, very fast. And strong running from their fullback, Tom Price, who's a junior at 205 pounds. Reince is going to graduate this year. Now they have Tom Kubasiak in to punt again, standing at his own 20-yard line. And this may be the final chance for Arcola to get on the scoreboard today. He gets an end-over-end kick. It is taken at about the 45-yard line by Johnny Fischel, and he is driven back. Great coverage by Genoa-Kingston on the punt. The clock is stopped with 16 seconds left to play. And if you were Arcola's coach, Steve Thomas, what would you do here to try to get on the board? Put it up in the air?
You got to put it up in the prayer along about here, I think, Vince. They have the wind at their back. They could throw it for some distance.
16 seconds remaining in the game.
Dan Miller, number 11, I believe, is their quarterback in there right now. I also saw Doug Contario out there. And the clock is running. They may not get the play off. They do not. In the Class 1A championship football game is decided with a jubilant throng of Genoa-Kingston critters coming onto the field from the far side. Some of those players we see shaking hands with their opposition today. A kind of a dejected Arcola football club, the Purple Riders, but they certainly have nothing to be ashamed of. They have gone this far this year. They were 11-0 coming into this championship game. But Genoa-Kingston just proved to be too much for them. The Little 8 conference champion under Coach David Russell has captured the 1A championship here this afternoon. And a game that is not absolutely perfect, to say the least, for football. But these two ball clubs did a superb job. And Genoa-Kingston winds up with the victory here in our first of the 5 championship games today and tomorrow on this campus. Now,
we have Coach Dave Russell of the Genoa-Kingston Cogs. Coach, congratulations to you and your boys on a fine ball game, a fine championship game. Our congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Gentlemen, on behalf of the IHSA Board of Directors, all the member schools, our congratulations to you and your teammates from Genoa-Kingston Class 1A IHSA football champs. Congratulations.
all right, with the trophy in hand, the proud winners are on their way to the locker room here momentarily, so let's switch to Tournament Central.